You need to move to the crew quarters. James needs the master suite to heal. My father said it like he was asking for salt. Calm. Casual. Standing in the middle of my bedroom. Wearing my silk robe. Drinking my vintage scotch. My mother didn't even look at me. She dipped her fingers into my $800 face cream. Like it was free sample lotion at a mall counter. A thick glove. Straight onto her cracked heel. Don't just stand there, Vanessa. Your brother is stressed. You can sleep with the staff. Sleep with the staff. On my yacht. The one I built. From a salvage tug and bleeding hands. From ramen dinners and salt-burned skin. They hadn't called in 3 years. Not on holidays. Not on birthdays. Not when I almost lost everything. But now they were here. Not to reconcile. To collect. I walked onto the aft deck because the air inside smelled like entitlement and expensive theft. The Miami heat wrapped around me. Heavy. Wet. Unforgiving. Leo was waiting by the gangway. 19. Cap twisting in his hands. Eyes red. Miss Vanessa. I'm sorry. They had IDs. They said it was an anniversary surprise. Your father said if I questioned them, you'd fire me. They hadn't hacked a keypad. They hadn't broken a lock. They bullied a teenager. That's their specialty. Find the softest target. Squeeze. It's fine, Leo, I said. My voice steady. My hands shaking. I'll handle the garbage. And as I turned back toward the salon, I realized something. They weren't asking for a room. They were staging a takeover. And they had no idea who they were trying to evict. The salon looked different. Smaller. Like it had already decided it didn't belong to me anymore. For oversized suitcases blocked the walkway. My Italian leather sofa had a new king. James. Sprawled across it. Scrolling. Smirking. Not bad, V. A little sterile. I can work with it. Work with it. Like my life was an Airbnb. Get out, I said. Soft. Controlled. All of you. Now. My mother emerged from the master suite, wiping her hands on one of my private towels. Don't be dramatic, Vanessa. We're family. Family. The most expensive word in the English language. This is a commercial vessel, I said. You are trespassing. My father laughed. Poured himself more of my scotch. And tell them what? That you're evicting your elderly parents? After everything we did for you. He stepped closer. The smell of my own liquor on his breath. We raised you. Fed you. Housed you. Sacrificed for you. He gestured around the $1 million interior. You think this is yours? It's ours. We invested in you. There it was. The math of narcissists. My success equals family dividend. James' failure equals family emergency. My assets equals public property. His debts equals shared burden. How much? I asked. $148,000, he said. Like he was announcing the weather. Crypto gamble. Private lender. Aggressive. They're sending pictures of him walking to his car. James finally looked up. Sweating. Scared. For a moment, I saw something real. Fear. But they weren't asking. They were calculating. Think of it as retroactive repayment, my father said calmly. You lived with us for a month after college. We ran the numbers. With interest and opportunity cost, you owe about that much. Retroactive repayment. They had monetized my childhood. Every meal. Every roof. Every breath. Logged in a ledger. Waiting to mature. And in that moment, I understood. They didn't come to stay. They came to collect interest. I told them I needed to check the accounts. I climbed to the bridge deck. Locked the watertight door behind me. Salt air. Sanitized steel. Silence. This wasn't new. It was a sequel. 7 years ago, my grandmother left me $10,000. My escape fund. My beginning. I went to the bank the day after her funeral. The account was empty. The teller slid the withdrawal slip across the counter. My name signed at the bottom. But the V was wrong. Shaky. Like my father's hand when he lies. They had forged it. Used my inheritance to fund James' first vision. When I confronted them, they didn't deny it. James has potential, they said. You just have a hobby. So I rebuilt. From zero. I scrubbed decks until my hands cracked open. Saved every tip. Ate ramen in engine rooms that smelled like diesel and regret. While James posted bottle service photos in Vegas. Paid for by my stolen start. They didn't neglect me. They cannibalized me. They ate my beginning. And now they were back. For the finish. I looked at the Miami skyline. Glass towers reflecting gold over the water. They thought I was checking balances. They thought I was moving money. They didn't realize something important. The girl they robbed 7 years ago died at that bank counter. The woman standing here wasn't a daughter. She was a CEO. And I don't fight hostile takeovers. I acquire them. I'm going to the bank, I told them. My father narrowed his eyes. You're not running to the cops, are you? No, I said evenly. I'm going to save your son. Like always. I walked off the yacht without looking back. But I didn't go to the bank. I drove 3 blocks to a cigar bar called Havana. Cedar smoke. Old leather. Money that never apologized. Aunt Morgan was waiting in the back booth. Diamonds at her wrist. Espresso untouched. She was my mother's sister in blood. But not in weakness. Let me see the demand letter, she said. I handed it over. She scanned it once. Then left. Apex Global Holdings, she read aloud. This isn't a loan shark. It's Barry Siegel. Strip mall predator. He scares rich boys into paying double. Can we stall him? I asked. Better, she said, already dialing. He'd rather have 60 cents on the dollar today than chase your brother into bankruptcy. 3 minutes. That's all it took. Wire pending. Debt note sold. You're now the holder, she said calmly. You own the paper. You own him. Own him. The words settled in my chest like steel. We didn't draft a check. We drafted a trap. By the time I drove back to the marina, the sun was bleeding across the water. I loosened a few strands of hair, practiced a tremble in my hands, lowered my shoulders. Defeated. Small. Compliant. The broken daughter. When I stepped back into the salon, they were waiting. Like vultures on a fence. And they thought I had brought them salvation. They had no idea. I brought a contract. Well, my father barked. Wine open. Magazine flipped. Already redecorating my yacht in their heads. I can do it, I said quietly, letting my shoulders sag. But there's a problem. I explained it slowly. Corporate accounts. IRS flags. Compliance recordings. Big transfers require documentation. I propped my phone on the table. Camera facing them. My board requires a record, I lied. I need you to acknowledge this debt is James. That you can't cover it yourselves. Otherwise the bank freezes the wire. Greed is anesthesia. It numbs suspicion. My father looked at the phone. Looked at the wine. Looked at James. Fine, he said. Turn it on. I pressed record. I poured champagne. Soft apology in my voice. I shouldn't have snapped earlier. I just want to help. My mother exhaled dramatically. I knew you'd come to your senses. I leaned in like a conspirator. We structure it as a debt purchase. A distressed asset acquisition. Tax write-off. Clean books. My father's eyes lit up. Now he wasn't taking money. He was outsmarting the system. He looked into my camera like a man delivering a speech. I, Roger Reynolds, acknowledge this $148,000 debt belongs to my son, James. We do not have the cash to settle it. Perfect. And for audit history, I added lightly, we should mention the inheritance. Just to show precedent of shared funds. He waved a careless hand. Sure. We used Vanessa's inheritance years ago for James' first venture. It was family money. Family money. On camera. Smiling. He had just confessed to forging my name. To theft. To fraud. And he thought he was helping me cheat taxes. I slid the document forward. Sign here. Guarantor line. They didn't read it. Not the default clause. Not the lien. Not the immediate acceleration trigger. They signed. All three. My phone buzzed in my palm. Transaction complete. Asset acquired. I stopped recording. The money's gone, I said calmly. Silence hung in the air. But I didn't pay off the debt. I met their eyes. I bought it. And suddenly, the champagne didn't taste so sweet. Silence. Thick. Metallic. Like the moment before glass shatters. You what? James whispered. I bought the debt, I repeated calmly. You owe me now. I turned the document toward them. Tapped the clause they never read. Your recorded admission of insolvency triggered immediate default. The lien is enforceable. The house is collateral. My father's face drained of color. That's not possible. It is, I said. The wire went to the lender. The note transferred to my company. And thanks to your on-camera statement, you declared you can't pay. My mother stood up so fast her chair scraped the floor. You tricked us. No, I replied softly. You underestimated me. James started pacing. You can't take the house. That's our home. I tilted my head. Is it? Because 7 years ago, when you took my inheritance, that was my start. My thumb pressed the silent alarm under the bar. Port Authority officers boarded within minutes. These passengers are unauthorized, I said evenly. This is a commercial vessel. No yelling helped them. No guilt worked. No leverage remained. They were escorted off my yacht. 3 weeks later, summary judgment. The lien stood. The house sold. Debt, theft, and legal fees covered. James received a wage garnishment order. 15% for 10 years. You're a monster, he told me outside the courthouse. I didn't raise my voice. I'm not a monster, I said. I'm a creditor. As the yacht pulled away from the marina that evening, the skyline burned gold against the water. I deleted their numbers, blocked their emails, cleared the ledger. Family isn't priceless. It's just another contract. And this time, I owned the paper.